Well, guys, welcome in to another live stream here this Sunday evening. I don't even know what even is happening in the political world tonight. I'm not even sure, honestly. There was this terrible killing that happened. I know that. Was Trump booed? I don't know. What, at the U.S. Open? I think it was a combination. It was some boos, some cheers. Doesn't really matter. What's up? Daniel Jones played really well. Yeah, Daniel Jones did play very well. That was a terrible performance by the Dolphins. Killing of the Ukrainian girl really bothered me. Yeah, no, it's horrible. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. You see the full video of it. Well, they cut out the part, but and then it's just like it's insane that the dude is dripping in blood throughout the subway car. There's a lots of Trump clips. Yeah, I'll go to him.
Gerald Armstrong tipped $5 through Super Chat. Charlotte Mayor was proud that the media covered up the crime.
It's always worse when these things happen because the mayor, because it's always a liberal mayor, and then they immediately respond in a way that is like lukewarm when it comes to the victim. They don't really want to say anything. It's more about, oh, this is going to be perceived as racist, so we can't really talk about it. And if you do any type of participate in any type of wrong think, you're racist, and this is a mental health issue. And but nobody, I mean, these mayors, it's all, it's just even worse. I mean, it kind of exemplifies the problem we have when the mayors, the liberal mayors, respond in the way that they do to these things. You said the Cincinnati mayor did the same exact thing when the white people got beat up. So, did you see the election wizard got exposed? Well, it didn't. A lot of them get exposed. I think a lot of them got exposed. It wasn't just, and a lot of it is them taking money. They're not all Indian, like literally Indian people, but they'll take money. They'll get offered certain incentives. They'll get offered stuff to tweet something, and then they'll be given the format on what to tweet, and then they'll post it. And these people get a bunch of interactions. They create some type of narrative among the right. And so some type of Indian think tank was handing out a bunch of money to these people to post something that was pro-Indian and I guess anti-Chinese. You like when I showed the chair? I gotta get a new chair, man. This chair is. I need a chair that's got like a crazy cushion. I need like I need heavy armament or something. That's what I need. No, when Trump was there was just the typical crowd noises and people. The left are angry and trying to say that ESPN edited out the boos. This is so annoying. Oh my goodness, did three people boo Trump? Like, can we do something better with our lives than trying to fucking examine forensic audio on if four people might have booed Trump? Like, this is the blue anon like bullshit. Like, the more you look at the left, the more just unimpressive it. Like, there were five people that booed Trump. Oh my god. There's fatigue with even Trump and just discussing anything that Trump does. Like, he went to the fucking US Open. He's polarizing. He got some boos, some cheers. Okay. When are you moving? I have to move. I do have to move soon. Like literally, I have to move soon. Are you cover the Philly Karen ball? That dude, that was a crazy situation. That woman, I don't even, has she been doxxed? I would imagine. But normally that's the first thing that happens when an internet event gets that, because that's the typical internet event. That woman goes over completely out of line. There's a, I mean, the dude did move over a row or whatever to get the ball, but it's a scramble for the ball. He gets the ball. She's like entitled to it because she probably says it's hit within her space, and it's just a catastrophic move on her part because the internet's gonna destroy her, demanding the ball back. But I mean, is there really even a take from me? I mean, everybody's already said it's a ridiculous thing, and you're gonna get dragged for something like that. And I wonder if there'll be like an apology or what. Maybe people will just forget about it. But it's just, you're gonna get dragged for that. Parker Rodgers pull an MVP performance against. Sorry, well, the Jets do have a good defense, or they're supposed to have good defense. That was a really good performance from Rodgers. Thoughts on Vance first, the lame libtard? What, in the comments or whatever, when he talked about the war crime? Yeah, that was the thing with Vance responding to that dude. It's just, it's never worth it. I mean, people can say it's cool and whatever, but that dude, he gains so much more from that interaction than Vance does. Now it's his entire personality for the next year. Krasenstein, that's his biggest moment of his life. So these people are fiends that just live on the internet the entire time. I mean, I guess I am too, but I don't post that as much as these people. Thoughts on the beta dad giving the Karen the ball? Yeah, I mean, I can see both ways. I think it was a cucked move. I understand de-escalation, but there's got to be something in you that says "fuck off, lady." You know, like that's. I mean, you want to say, well, de-escalated. The kid ends up getting a goodie bag from the Phillies or whatever. Instead, he gets a bunch of stuff, so it worked out for him. But in that moment, yeah. Why isn't there a BLM protest when an illegal killed a black person? Well, you know why. Because all these things are narrative based, and it has to be white people. Whenever there's a BLM protest, it's always they got to blame white people. And so if it's someone else doing it, it destroys their movement. There's no reason for their movement to exist if they can't blame whites. You can't possibly think that it was okay to blow up that ship full of maybe drug dealers. They could have tried to capture it and blew it up. Well, I mean, I'd imagine they got a report on who was in it. And so I don't know. That's an authorization. It's not Trump calling to blow it up. I mean, it goes through a chain of command, and so it's. I mean, I don't know that situation and what happened. They blew up a fucking drug boat. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't know the protocol in terms of what type of waters it was in. I mean, mm-hmm. Man, I gotta get my contact subscription upgraded. The country should be rioting to hell of this. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're not the people that are angry at this are not gonna destroy the cities or do anything like that. I mean, I know what you're saying 100%. It's selective outrage for sure. I mean, how many of these situations do we see? And then there's one situation where a minority gets killed and they have to riot and burn down 15 cities, but then there's 100 straight situations of this, and it's just, you just have to accept. And they don't even cover it. They wipe it, and then they say, well, if you talk about it, you're racist. So it's like a quadruple whammy, but as long as you're you understand what's happening, I mean, at least it's better than nothing. But I don't know how this type of stuff gets solved, honestly. This is a good filter to see people who truly don't know what they are talking about. People saying the boat people need a due process don't realize it only applies to people in the US. Well, I think it's just any military action Trump makes, they're going to rule it's unconstitutional, it's a war crime. He can't do anything. I mean, Obama he was obsessed with drones, he bombed people. I mean, there's a lot of presidents that do things and they kill people. I mean, this is just what it is. This is part of the job. You have to make tough decisions. And so they blew up a drug boat. Well, I mean, what are we going to investigate? I don't know, man. There's things that happen sometimes. Go talk to Obama about his drone situation in Libya. Do people really think the president just goes like, yeah, blow this boat up, I think there's drugs there, and then they just blow it up? Right, that's what I'm saying. There's a chain of command. Obviously, they've been tracking it probably for a while. They want to send a message. They hopefully had the exact intel on what was on the boat. And so they chose the action in which they did. I mean, tagged you on a video on X. Check out the clip. I have to go on. This is where I'm logged into it. The woman assaulted or assassinated in broad daylight in Philadelphia. Yeah, those cities are never going to get better either. Not with those demographics. Not with those demographics. I mean, dude, I'll go take a look at some of the stuff here. I could have sworn Trump had posted about the Ukrainian refugee, but maybe that was somebody faked a truth post of Trump or something. I swear I saw it. But I guess not. I don't know. Due to the cartels being terrorist organizations, the U.S. can legally perform limited military strikes. Right, and I'm sure there's a lot of vagrancy involved in that, so they could get away with it. Right, how is it a war crime if they're labeled terrorist organizations? That probably puts them in the clear, I would imagine. Because right, when we think about the cartels, we think about the Mexican cartels. Well, this is another type of cartels. It's in a different country though, but I guess it's the same premise of cartel related activity. And so maybe that gives them the clear and they don't have to face anything. But I mean, I don't know. Vance saying that people liked it. I mean, that's fine. It's just, you know, when you respond to certain people, it gives them, you know, it gives them like this reward. And so that can be annoying. U.S. Open is an embarrassment. Wimbledon clears it. Yeah, well, grass is better. Watching tennis on grass is better. Just is. If they claim the boat, we'd have free drugs, maybe free money and people. What do you mean free drugs and what do you mean free drugs? I mean, the drugs are not. Is it really worth retrieving it? Are the drugs on it gonna cure cancer? I don't. I mean, I think a lot of it is just like people have to be angry at Trump for something every week, and then when Trump decides to not say anything, they say, "Well, he's dead." So every week it's something. They're mad. Oh, he blew up a boat, the drug boat. Oh, he's not saying anything, so he's dead. Oh, it's unconstitutional. sending in the National Guard, things like that. I don't know, man. Did you see the astronaut in Charlotte was arrested 14 times? Well, isn't that the perfect encapsulation of what Trump is talking about on why there has to be a different approach when it comes to law and order in these cities? Charlotte, North Carolina, liberal city. He's arrested 14 times. A lot of times you see it's minority judges letting out other minorities, black judges letting out black criminals, things of that nature. And it looks like this is another one of those cases. So, on a Real Quick Politics, Trump has a positive approval on crime. Well, I mean, he should have a positive approval on immigration as well. I mean, his approval is pretty good when you compare it, and especially compare it to Obama and some of the others. It's very polarizing. Pretty much every president's approval is going to be negative at this point, but Trump's is a lot higher than Biden or Obama's was. So you compare it to those two, and he's way higher than he was in his first term, obviously. Rafa Nadal. Remember Nadal, Djokovic, Federer? Djokovic was always the best, but Nadal was great on clay. Nadal would always win on clay. I'll give him that. But that was when tennis. I don't watch tennis, man. But I liked when those three were playing. Younger generations won't be happy until we get a nationalist into power. That's when it seems like at least most of the young people online. Yeah, I mean, I also think you're probably in a bubble. But it's definitely trending more radical on both sides, left and right. But it could also be a byproduct of the internet. But I mean, in general, also the immigration trends in the past 50 or 60 years, I don't think people are too surprised in the way in which the right wing is trending at this point. It just seems like a byproduct of what's happened with immigration over the past half century. Anyone else remember the clip of Trump basketball shooting the toilet paper into the crowd at Puerto Rico? Yeah, I do remember that. That was one of the big viral clips that Trump had that they would always talk about. Is it fair the billionaire class is a big problem with how shitty America is for the non-rich? It's all relative. I mean, you look at the average media income, the average square footage house an American owns, it's significantly superior to European countries. But obviously, we have a significant wealth inequality because we're a capitalist country. That's the way capitalism works. Listen, capitalism is extremely pro-immigration. It's not as simple as being pro-capitalist or pro-socialist. Or I think you know, in terms of free will and everything like that, you kind of have to be capitalist. But it's almost like a guarded, a controlled capitalism because there's some problems with it. Yeah, Trump should comment on this. I mean, this is you'd think he would comment on something like this. So I thought he did because this like bolsters his entire point. He's been on this crusade about keeping these liberal cities safe, and now we see a killing, which is on camera, unprovoked. It's not even like, oh, he said, she said the N word too, right? Because they can't even do that. Because you know that's what they always do. This woman is on her phone. She's like 120 pounds. She's looking down the entire time. How much will the Fed cut rates? 0.25. I don't know. Unless it changed, I don't think it's going to be 5. I don't know. I know the job numbers are really bad. You know, I'm concerned they might revise the GDP growth in quarter 2. Maybe not. I mean, our stock market's been good, but I just heard people saying that the jobs numbers are so bad I mean, I still think it'll be, if it gets revised, it'll be a positive number, but they just keep revising this stuff and it always seems to be revised down. And, you know, they could revise the GDP. At some point, hoarding wealth becomes abusive. Well, I mean, I think you could definitely, there can be tax. This is what I'll tell you. You can definitely tax rich people more. It will cause a ripple effect, though. It's not like we're just going to get more money by taxing rich people and there's no negative things that come from that, because rich people tend to, in terms of their investments, in terms of what they own, in terms of their corporations, depending on what they do, they employ hundreds of thousands of people. You tax them more, it's going to have an effect on that. It's going to have an effect on their bottom line. It's going to do a bunch of stuff. It's not as simple. I mean, this is when you raise taxes, there's a lot of negatives that come with it. But I do understand that, yeah, at a certain point, I mean, if they have a certain amount of wealth, it can just be disruptive in terms of a lot of the middle class struggling. The other part is a lot of the jobs left. There were a lot of good middle class jobs, and the difference with the middle class is you had a lot of good blue collar jobs, so you didn't need a college degree. Now, if you're part of the middle class and you want a decent job, you very likely need a degree, especially for any white collar job. You need a degree. So you're talking about going to college, possibly, likely getting into some type of student debt, and you're starting with an entry level salary at like 45, 50K with student debt at the age of, what is it, 23, 24, these kids going in now. We used to have manufacturing jobs, and the manufacturing jobs were, they were very good in terms of their pay relative to what the cost of living was. The manufacturing jobs left in part because of capitalism, because it's cheaper to make things in other countries. And so now it's like the only thing, if you're a middle class person, you can be a laborer, sure, but so many of those jobs have left, and you're left with all the, I mean, and also women joining the workforce. It's completely watered it down, completely watered the workforce down, and also watered down salaries, and also the immigrants coming in. So now you're contending with two extra components that you wouldn't see Americans contend with, American men contend with in the 1950s, the 1960s. Now you've got women in the workforce, and you have immigrants, and the immigrants are the ones that affect the labor intensive jobs significantly, because they'll do it for cheaper, and they'll keep wages suppressed. And that is capitalism, 100%. Immigration is capitalism. Why do you think Bernie Sanders is against H-1Bs? Why does Tim Dillon keep going on Rogan? Because Rogan has like the same 8 guests on like every 6 months. But I haven't watched Rogan recently, so I don't know. But I mean, yeah, at a certain point, it's like if Tim Dillon's going to be on there 50 times, I mean, what can they really talk about at a certain point? But he has all the same comedians on over and over again, Rogan. I mean, he's done like 3,000 episodes. Could JD be trying to get his own Trump moments by trying to sound authentic like Trump for the next election? You know, JD Vance did an interview with Fox News where he basically admitted that, yeah, he's going to be the Republican choice. They asked him about the 2028 election. He said, I'll talk about it in 2026 and 2027. They said, are you going to be running? Are you the candidate? We know he's going to be. I mean, we were talking about JD Vance being the 2028 candidate in the summer of 24, in the fall of 24, before the election happened. If Trump won, he was going to be extremely likely to be the next guy up. I think Vance does have a bit of a moxie. People will say, well, it's fake, it's conceived. I don't know. We'll see with Vance. I think Vance is articulate. He's a smart dude, but It's not easy to book someone for a multiple hour interview show. I mean, you're right. That's Kamala Harris. It's Kamala Harris about book. Remember their team? Rogan was talking about the Kamala Harris team, and he was like, I was ready to do it. She needed to come into the studio. And then she wanted Rogan to travel out to her. Dude, if I'm Rogan, I'm like, bitch. Because that's got to be... Because you're right. I mean, if Rogan's doing that, and really any interview, when you do it over the internet, and you're in different areas remote, it's a terrible experience. It's a terrible experience as a viewer to listen to that. It's not... I mean, you can still do it. But like for a 3-hour podcast, like the Edward Snowden stuff, I mean, I guess he can't come to the United States, but those are tough to listen to. Take it for what you will, but Vance's posts always accumulate a ton of likes at rates far higher than pretty much anyone else. Dude, I know so many. Dude, I don't know about Vance. I know so many people. This is something that's happening, and I wish people would be. And maybe they are, but there is a lot of people that are straight up buying thousands and thousands and thousands of likes on all their posts. And it's a way of propaganda. And I'm sure it's something that happens on both sides. But just be aware, especially when you see responses when there's 6 retweets or, like 6 replies and 7 retweets and 12,500 likes on a response. There's a lot of people buying. I don't know what the cost of likes is. It must not be too much because I see a lot of inorganic likes in the political sphere. And it's propaganda for sure. People see something that has a ton of likes relative to, replies. I mean, people think it's the popular thing to say. It's accepted in society. Rogan can't go anywhere for his podcast or for an interview. Well, he can go and interview with people, but for his podcast, yeah, he has to. If I'm Rogan, you have to big time people and say, I'm not traveling to do my podcast in your studio. That's not how it's going to work, because Rogan is big enough to where he can just say that. Your bro Defiant L got exposed. Well, they take money. Well, Defiant L, that account I think was sold. That account was sold months ago. Why do you think they were pumping a meme coin on it? They shouted out like 5 different meme coins on the Defiant L, and people want me to go to it. (9/11) stream Thursday. Wow, yeah, it is 4 days. That would be the 24th. So not next year. It's going to be a big 25th anniversary. But 24th anniversary of 9/11 on Thursday. That's right. Trump went off today. 0.007 cents a like. Yeah, that's an easy rate for sure. There's a lot of botting in the crypto space as well. Back from a 4-day break. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the weekend and Thursday, Friday that I went to see the Conjuring, the last rites or ritual or something. It was all right. The first Conjuring I still think is the scariest by far. It was not nearly as scary as the Annabelle movie or the other 2 Conjurings. I mean, it had some decent parts, but it certainly was not. I knew it wasn't gonna be that scary because when they make like the 3rd and 4th, and this is like the final edition, and I knew it wasn't gonna be as good. Have a good Sunday night, man. I appreciate that, dude. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? I don't know, man. I just think the quarterback play in general is so weak. I was looking at some of the games, and just the quarterback passing yards are they're all like 150 yards, 182 yards. Like Geno Smith was the only one that had over 300 yards. I'm surprised at how bad the yardage is. I guess because they changed up defenses a few years ago, and you can run easier now, but I don't know. I also think a lot of the jersey changes are terrible that these teams go through. They change their jerseys, they look worse. Gas still $3.30. Yeah, gas has gone up in my area and it's sustained. I mean, there's fluctuations in gas prices, so I'd have to look at crude oil. I'm guessing crude oil probably went up because gas has been up pretty significantly in my area for like a prolonged period of a month and a half, I'd say 2 months. So look at the price of crude oil, but it's not a perfect indicator. It depends. There could be your state could have taxes on gas, things like that, if it's a liberal state. Thoughts on Trump's recent meeting with Zuck, Gates, and all the tech giants? Yeah, I guess it was a little surprising that Musk wasn't there. But Trump's a billionaire. He's an elitist. I'm not too shocked by it. I think the only people shocked by it kind of have this fake superhero view of Trump as an individual. But Trump's also like, he gets told this stuff. He doesn't know, like, in the way in which the world is evolving through technology, he's not really going to understand that. I'm not saying I understand it either, but just at his age. Think buying silver is worth it? No, I don't. Well, I mean, you know what? It depends what your philosophy is, man. But no, I'm more of an aggressive investor than that. I mean, silver is about to pump. A 10% move. A big 10% move is coming. Musk is a weirdo, but that's not news. Yeah, I was surprised Musk wasn't there. I don't know. I think the relationship with him and Trump is good, but Musk has all these people on social media that are just simps for him now, and so they're like, why isn't he at this dinner? Thoughts on the horrid Browns loss? I mean, it's unfortunate. It's typical though. The Browns are really not a bad team. That's the thing. People think the Browns are like, oh, they're gonna be 1-16 or 2-15, whatever. If they have Flacco, they're a decent team. They've got a good defense. Once they get Judkins back, I mean, they've got a decent receiver room. They've got a good young tight end. I mean, they're actually a decent team. They could probably win 5 games with Flacco. I just think they're going to switch to one of the rookies probably midway through the season. If they switch to a rookie, they're going to be a terrible team. Because Flacco kind of, he's old and he's not great, but he can kind of just keep you in a game. So when they switch off of Flacco and go to one of these, whether it's Gabriel or Sanders, they're going to be terrible. But if they have Flacco, I think they could beat some of these. I mean, a lot of these teams in the NFL, they're so close in terms of roster talent. They could win some games, but they're going to be like 5-12. It's probably better for them to lose as much as possible, but I don't know. They don't want to do that. You think RFK has both mental illness, personality disorder? You don't think he should be the head of HHS? Well, I'm surprised so many liberals are. I mean, a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are extremely predatory and capitalist, and you'd think a lot of these liberals would, especially someone like Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, they'd be happy what RFK is doing, calling out a lot of these major pharmaceutical companies, but they're simping for him now. That's why I think a lot of it is so fake. It's just like whatever the opposing party likes, we're gonna dislike. And then they're talking about booster shots with the vaccine, and that was like the big thing that went viral with RFK. I don't even. RFK's like, you can still get your booster shot if you want. And then Elizabeth Warren's like, no, it's not mandatory. You made it not mandatory now. But I agreed with what RFK was saying. He said it's not necessary for younger people. We don't recommend it for younger people. I mean, we'll see what some of this is. Trump was in the crowd signing hats. Yeah, so Trump's going to be at the the Yankees game on 9/11. That's what it is. That's another sporting event. You know, obviously their team has diagnosed these public appearances at these sporting events as a positive for his image. This is just a terrible, terrible thing. They set up a fundraiser. That was like some cruel troll or something. Trump, do not send the National Guard to Chicago. Gang, do not, I repeat, do not do it. Yeah. Silver is not necessarily a bad investment. It will just take years for it to be worth. Well, I mean, is it even an investment? I mean, maybe it's some type of hedge against inflation, I guess. It goes up extremely slowly. That's the point. So I think it is a bad investment, honestly. Even comparing it to like the S&P, if you wanted a better return. I mean, you've got to be really rich to make money off silver, man. Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense to invest into silver or gold unless, I mean, unless you want to diversify your assets, I guess. $21.18 appropriate age gap. Yeah, 3-year age gap is not bad, man. In terms of like, if you're worried about that. Trump has been hedging on sending the National Guard to Chicago. He keeps saying he wants the invite. I'm not sure why he hasn't pulled the trigger. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's something different with the National Guard to other cities. Like, can he actually send them to Chicago? I mean, I guess he could declare it an emergency. I don't know what the difference is. I think he has more jurisdiction over DC, so that's why he was able to do it as easy as he could. When he sent them to LA, it was more of like because of the riots, and it was to protect monuments or whatever, or like federal buildings. So I don't know if there's not an official justification for sending him to Chicago, but I guess he could just say it's a public emergency because of the crime, but I don't know. Love the video on your workplace. I appreciate it. Yeah, there. I actually want to build this. Have you guys seen? There's a big thing in the Lego community. Lego has announced their biggest set, and it's just terrible. It's a disc. It's a 2D disc of the Death Star, but you know the Death Star. It's a sphere, and they've done this 2D disc, and they're like, "Ooh, look at the interior. It looks like an incomplete Death Star." But this is their biggest set that costs $1,000. Lego has just got to stop. Lego has released. I mean, I do like the Arkham Asylum that they're releasing, but even that is like, it's a dumbed down modular compared to what you could get with alternative bricks. But that Death Star that they have, people are not happy with that. I mean, it doesn't. You can't even display it. It's like it's half built or quarter built. Why are the number of jobs added under Trump this term so low? I'm kind of concerned. Well, I'm concerned about the jobs. The jobs. It's more of a lag, so a lot of it is back with the Biden economy. But what I'm concerned about is the GDP getting revised, possibly. I don't know, man. I hear all this fear mongering. People keep saying we're in a recession. I don't even know what that means. Like, oh, we're in a 3-year recession because it started under Biden and they didn't count it as a recession. Like, what even does that mean? The stock market's at an all-time high. What are you talking about? We're in a recession. If the Fed drops the interest rate significantly, will businesses around the country stop constantly filing bankruptcy and shutting down entire franchises? Well, it's going to create a more attractive, monetary setup when they lower the interest rates. Hopefully by around three. I think it's going to be 3 cuts throughout the next 3 meetings. Now, how that sets up, I'm not sure exactly, and they could always change it depending on what the inflation numbers say. Liberals are banking on the inflation continuing to go up, and they can blame Trump and his tariffs for it. The core inflation is 2.7. But it was good when it was 9.1. Now it's crazy high at 2.7%. We would love it to be at 2.0, but it's like it's not high, especially compared to where it was under Obama or Biden. Is a 25 BPS enough? Yeah, but the 25 BP, I mean, this is Powell. So Powell and Trump obviously don't get along, so there's going to be a cut, but with Powell, I don't think we can really expect an aggressive cut. I think Trump thinks it should be a 1% cut, honestly, but that's never going to happen. They're not going to do a 1% cut in a single meeting. But I think the administration is probably hoping for a 0.5 cut after the jobs report. But maybe the jobs report gets revised up. You never know. That's really one of the things that we need to start really getting a better hold on is these inaccurate jobs numbers that we're getting. They keep being revised significantly months later. But I don't understand. And then they're like, well, we can't blame the Fed. The Fed was operating under numbers that weren't true. Well, how can the Fed not get accurate numbers on jobs? And then they're like 3 months later, oh, actually, we said we gained 190K jobs. It's actually only 21K. Damn, we should have cut 3 months ago, but we thought we gained more. Well, can we not inaccurately count the job situation better? Because they're basing the monetary policy off of it. Now it's too late. You really think Powell is considering his feud with Trump and his decision? Well, I know he is. Did you see what he said? He's been pandering, and you got to listen to what he says. It's this egotistical snark. He's very snarky when he talks, and I remember him talking a few times, and it's just such a troll against Trump and what he was saying. And
The Vital Message tipped $5 through Super Chat. After seeing what happened at Charlotte, how could you want to race mix with those people?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think it's terrible. Well, I'm not going to be race mixing, but I think it is terrible what happened, and it's just a microcosm of the current situation in the country, especially in these bigger cities. But these bigger cities, I mean, all the bigger cities have changed in terms of demographics tenfold since 1980. Look at the big Californian cities where they were in terms of, racial demographics in the 80s. I mean, this has been a drop off the cliff in terms of this. And it's like, this is just like a byproduct of, I don't want to call it late stage capitalism, but I mean, in a way, it's like, well, the birth rates are down. They need people to work for cheap, and they bring them in. Thoughts on NFL Red Zone having ads now? I think, listen, I was an early adopter to Red Zone. I got it in 2013, and but now Scott Hansen wants to be the star. He's got his own brand. It's like the witching hour and all that. So he wants to be a star, and that's what it is. And they're going to have ads, and they're probably going to keep the ads. They're going to ramp them up. It's going to start off with 4 ads. This is how it happens. They get away with 4 ads, then they do 8 ads, then they do 12 ads, and it keeps going up until the consumers finally take a stand against it and tell them, all right, we've had too many ads. We're not going to pay for your product anymore. Then they'll bring the ads back down. If they're still selling the Red Zone subscriptions or whatever, they're not going to bring the ads. They're going to keep ramping up the ads. I mean, look at what happened with college football. One of the big reasons college football changed their rules. Remember college football, they used to stop the clock on every first down. They don't do that anymore because they wanted more time for commercials. So the games were shorter. They were cut down by like 3 or 4 minutes because they don't stop the clock for a few seconds on a first down, which was something that was really unique with college football. And so they got about 4 or 5 more minutes of commercial space. Did you watch the YouTube game? I thought YouTube, it's crap. It's complete crap. They have this YouTube game. It's in freaking like Southeast Asia. No, it's in Brazil, but like, what a joke. What even happened to this product? This product has gotten destroyed. It's at this stadium that's like, looks like it's about to fall apart. And then the star quarterback Patrick Mahomes, he's not even that good anymore. I mean, he's had 2 bad years, and then this year, he just doesn't look very good to me. You know, we used to have all these great quarterbacks. This quarterback play has fallen off a cliff in the NFL. It really has. It's gotten bad. That was gay. They changed the clock stop rule. Yeah, they did it. They said that they wanted it to be more like the NFL, but why would you want college to be like the NFL? That's part of the charm of it, is it's not like the NFL. They say that because they need an excuse to change it, but it's really about ad space. The reason why Michigan lost was because of Sharon Moore's dumb playbook. No, I don't think they were winning that game anyways. I mean, Oklahoma made a series of blunders in that game, dude. Like 3 or 4 different blunders. Remember the roughing the kicker or roughing the punter? There was something else that gave Michigan a first down when they were about to punt. And I mean, there was like a few things that happened in that game that kept Michigan. And I think Michigan was just in a really bad spot. They had a young quarterback. You don't have enough weapons on the outside. It's very hard to win against a good team like that. Michigan was better off not facing an Oklahoma that early in the season. You need to establish that team. The team is too young to go on the road at an Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got a very veteran defense. The Mr. Beast stuff is so stupid and dumb. Yeah, I saw them trying to force that, and people got angry about the Mr. Beast barrage of they're trying to advertise for him. I don't get it, you know. But that's what it is now. Look at WWE. WWE is obsessed with Xander. I don't know if it's not gonna. Oh, there it goes. Xander, thank you. Have you heard of? No, I've never heard of that. Was that a drug? I never heard of that. Do you think the Fed manipulated the previous job numbers to avoid rate cuts, made them look better than they? I don't know about that. That seems a bit out there. But the yeah, I was waiting for it to read that donation. It's over $5. How was your weekend? My weekend was fine. My weekend was pretty normal, man. I went to that Conjuring movie and did kind of a crappy college football Saturday. I mean, there were a few games, but you know, early in the season, it's not going to be great. A horror cow. He lives in Akron. What? Why can't RFK speak properly? Because he's got a throat issue, I believe. I know you probably can't answer this on YouTube, but I'll ask it anyways. Oh boy. When looking at the results of integration, do you think that there has really been any benefits to this? You think it's been a failure? With immigration, you mean? Well, there's really not. When it comes to immigration to the United States, there's no assimilation to our culture, to Caucasian culture. So, I mean, obviously, I don't think it's worked out very well. But a lot of it is done again because the birth rates are now low, and I mean, but this was even happening going back to the 60s is really when it started. But I think it's compounded with the lower birth rates now, and you're starting to really see the difference. I mean, it is true in terms of like Gen Z. I think it's a 44% of Gen Z growing up is Caucasian. Yeah, I watch some of the NFL stuff, man. Not as much as I used to. Why the fuck would they run up the score to 70? Well, some of it's just these teams are terrible. I mean, these are FCS teams, so it's not even running up in some cases. It's just that the games are so bad. Yeah, that Ukrainian girl situation. People want the full video. I mean, that would really radicalize people. They saw the full video. Could you imagine? Because they edited out the video because, I mean, it's a literal murder on camera. Got to cover the spread. Yeah, the spread is like one of the only interesting things in some of these games when it's like a fucking 40-point spread, and obviously the team's gonna win. So it's like, did they cover or not? Paid protesters stood outside the U.S. Open and begged attendees walking to boo Trump. God, I just don't get. Like, dude. As a Trump supporter, even it's like I have fatigue over this type of stuff. Like, these people are, it's just like this obsession. Uncensored content like that would definitely be shocking. Yeah, I mean, uncensored content is, they used to have like a lot of Reddit subreddits that got deleted that were really bad with that type of stuff. That I don't think that type of stuff is good for people. No one reacted and just sat there. It was insane. I know, but that's like a different type of, like, are we really going to blame the people, the bystanders? I mean, let's just talk about the act, you know. What about the black girl that was 19 and an illegal killed her and threw her body off a bridge? How is that not huge news? Trump should make it. Yeah, no, I agree. That's terrible. I haven't seen that story. So, yeah, I'm just reading that for the first time. Remember the Donald? That is crazy that subreddit got deleted so quickly. That goes to show you that's extreme censorship of Reddit. You know, they deleted that subreddit before the 2016 election. Before Trump even had an election, they deleted that subreddit. And of course, I mean, that's the thing. If they control social, they'll say anything, right? You say, "Oh, it's wrong. It's wrong. Think that's why it got deleted. It caused. I don't even know what it would be back in 2016." But you couldn't even talk about immigrants in a bad way with liberals in 2016 at all. Will you return to the 9/11 videos? I don't think there's really many more 9/11 videos I can do at this point, man, honestly. You live in California, you should see all the state propaganda about the redistricting proposition. Yeah, I'm sure it's Trump is a fascist, so this helps counter fascism. That would be my guess on the propaganda about trying to pass that. RIP Live League. Well, there was even, there's some bad stuff. Yeah, Live League got shut down as well. That was like a few years ago. I remember that. Yeah, there were some crazy subreddits. I think they cleaned up a lot of it a few years ago because it's like, I mean, it's a company, so when you have subreddits that are that extreme. Trump is a man who is hiding the Epstein files. He is a bad man. He should be destroyed. Yeah, well, the liberals hit him for 4 years, and you guys didn't say a damn thing about it. And now we're saying something about it, and that's why it's making Trump look bad. Should Triple H join politics? Hunter? I remember Triple H. Is Triple H still, what is he, controlling the WWE? The general manager or something? Trump wants to make the essay portion harder. Who was your favorite founding father? What does it mean to be an American? But wouldn't that question be very easy? They could just say it means freedom. Oh, those are the... Oh, it says those are the potential questions it could be. Stephen King predicts Trump supporters will deny ever voting for him after historians paint him as a villain. But see, this is always what it is. Everyone is so numb to liberals like hating on Trump, so they have to conjure something up and say, well, Trump supporters don't even like him, and they're going to turn on him. And, you know, how many liberals have said, well, Trump people regret voting for Trump? A lot of this is projection, and it's like, it's this thing that they do to where whatever they say about Trump, everybody already knows liberals hate Trump. So it's like a boy who cried wolf. So it has to be like the next thing. And the next thing is, oh, his own supporters actually don't like him. So they make that up, and then they say, I mean, obviously, you look at the approval ratings among Republicans, it's just not true. Right, your favorite founding father was Donald Trump. Someone would write Obama, probably. A liberal immigrant would write Obama. You never understood that angle. You know how many people regretted their vote for Biden, but they never said anything? Well, because it's this full-blown Trump hate session, and they need something else outside of their own hatred for Trump. So they say, well, it's actually the people that voted for Trump, they now see it, and now they hate him. Because, you know, Trump winning the election and also winning the popular vote, that took a lot of wind out of their sails. Because they used to say, well, Trump, he never won the popular vote. So the country doesn't now, they can't say that. So they have to adjust. And they say, well, he won the popular vote, but those people regret it now. They regret it. The Haitian dude that says he loves Obama and Biden. No, that dude actually, respect the hustle. Respect the hustle with something like that. I give him credit for that. We need to close off immigration. Well, yeah, Tyler, I think the 24, I'd have to look back over it, but the 1924 Immigration Act was probably, because that really tightened it up, you know, outside of the European countries. But I don't know, man. You look at the European countries, and they're in a different spot at this point in terms of their demographics themselves.
Was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled...
So this woman got angry. Stupid, selfish asshole fucked up the open for everyone else fucking prick. It's like watching a toddler learn how to swear for the first time in a tweet. Like, these are grown people. These people are so liberal. It's like, once you realize, these liberal people are so fucking stupid. Like, and I know conservatives, there's some dumb ones, boomer, I get it, but it's just really bad. But these people, you'd think they'd be happy with where America is right now. I mean, this is like, liberalism has come into the United States. I mean, look at our demographic change, but they're still not happy. They're still angry. Sweden is the worst, went from the safest country in Europe to the worst, and is over a third foreign born. Oh, is it that bad for Sweden now? I thought a lot of those countries were keeping native populations high, but maybe they just opened up the floodgates. People hate this tennis arena. It does look really bad. Trump issues final warning to Hamas.
Well, I mean, for the foreseeable future, the person who's running the Democratic Party now is going to be running it. That's Donald Trump. I mean, the only thing they know how to do is be against whatever he is for. And so there is no leader of the party except for Trump. The beating heart of the Democratic Party is if Trump is for it, we're against it, and you throw a little socialism on the side. That's basically how they work.
All right, thanks. Want to know? I know. Let the record reflect that the two Democrats at the panel disagreed with what he had to say.
Isn't Scott Jennings? Boy, I like Jake Tapper as the moderator so much more than Abby Phillips. Honestly. I'm not going back to Haiti. Fuck Trump. You feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro. Dude, that's just like the most fake thing ever. And they're probably told him, they're like, dude, you fucked up the script. Nobody's gonna believe this shit. They told him. They're like, Sweden will be a minority in the next 2 decades. Well, look at Canada. You see what's happened to Canada? It's because we have a higher population, so it takes a longer period. But Canada, it's like one swath of immigration post the COVID stuff, because they started importing everyone post COVID. Everyone. What makes politics so interesting to you? Well, it is. It's like an adult drama show constantly. Just politics is, I mean, it's what fuels the world to a degree. So, but I mean, you don't want to get too wrapped up into it, because it's like, it's not like, I know people that get really wrapped up into politics and it kind of runs their life. And I guess people say, well, it's a noble thing to do, but it's entertainment to a degree. And you obviously have a side, you root for a side. There's a galvanization that you feel to come together to beat the other side. It's fun to, look at the polls and things like that when it's an election year stuff. I don't know. Some of this stuff in the off years is like, it's just like Trump sucks. Then Republicans say Trump's good. Then it's just like, it's really repetitive in covering this, in an off year, but Abby Phillips is one of the worst moderators. She's not even a moderator. She's not even a moderator, dude. She's another liberal panelist. Everything is just a liberal talking point when she's on one. But it's like, should I even care? Like, why do I even care? I don't watch CNN. It's just anytime I see one of these clips, it's just she's constantly arguing the liberal point. And it's not even like she's interjecting for 5 seconds. It's like a 30-second argument where she's like, well, actually, it's always this like talk down to the conservative panelist. Let me see if I don't think I'm going to be able to find a video idea for tomorrow. Windmill Crusade. He hates windmills. Yeah, well, now Daniel Penny, you see why he did that. I mean, And that was another racial thing. They said he should go to prison for that. That's self-defense. That's controlling a situation, a hostile situation. If Biden tweeted the windmill shit, you'd call him a mush brain. Yeah, but Biden wasn't in control of anything he tweeted, so he wouldn't even be able to tweet it. At least Trump is tweeting stuff that he wants to. All of Biden's stuff that was put out was done by his secretary, and there was not a single Biden thought that was tweeted out during his presidency. I'll tell you that. What do you think about OU's win over Michigan last night? Mateer went for 300 yards. Yeah, I'm concerned about OU's offense. They do a lot of quarterback runs. Mateer takes a lot of hits. I don't know. I think they've got a veteran defense, but Oklahoma, man, they've got a tough schedule. I think a good year for them would be 9-3, really. But you look at Oklahoma, they could beat a team like Texas in a rivalry game. They could. I don't know if they will, but because Oklahoma is a real veteran team. I just don't think they have the explosiveness on offense. Even the Biden dropout letter wasn't him. Who knows if he ever signed it? Yeah, well, I think it was he didn't want to drop out. Everybody knows that. His family didn't want to drop out. They were that delusional. You know, they wanted him replaced. Even CNN was saying he needed to be replaced after that debate. And they wanted it to happen immediate because it's better. It gives Harris more runway, gives her more time. But he just didn't want to do it. So it took him like 2 or 3 weeks to finally drop out. And they were putting heavy pressure on him too. But I don't know if he wrote the letter. I mean, I'm sure someone else wrote it, but there was just a ton of pressure on him by the Democratic Party for him to drop out because they knew the debate was so catastrophically bad from just a standpoint of him being a viable option. Because for them, it was like there was a ton of justification for independents to say, this is an insult to our intelligence. This guy cannot think clearly. He cannot talk. And there were still some liberals trying to defend Biden, saying he did a good job. Most of them, the smart ones, were like, all right, he sucked. We need to replace him. But there were still some of them trying to defend him. Make a video on Trump being booed at the U.S. Open. Trump booed at U.S. Open. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that video, I don't think people really care. Trump does not like Kennedy having the voice. Well, I mean, the voice, it's people have different speech problems sometimes. The voice it's a little bit rough. And for OU, it's usually the other way around. Our offense was great and our defense sucked. Yeah, well, Venables is a different animal than what you guys had with Lincoln Riley for sure. So it's completely the opposite. You've got a veteran good defense. You've got an offense that doesn't seem too explosive at all. It's more of a ball control, quarterback run, gritty offense. But I think your lack of skill position players is going to cost Oklahoma from really doing anything special. But I think a good season for you guys would be like 9-3 if you could get to that. In the SEC, that's a good season. That's like puts you on the outs, maybe like 13th or 14th. I mean, that's good for the SEC, you know, to beat a Big Ten team like that. But you guys also had a very, you know, Michigan was really, really young going into an environment like that. It's going to be hard for them. Is Illinois and Indiana overrated? Yeah, I think, well, Indiana's not even in the top 20, so I don't know if they're overrated. I think Illinois is overrated. Indiana probably will not be ranked at the end of the year, but it's not really saying much. If you could swap Trump with anyone right now for president, who would it be? Yours would be Legal Eagle. The YouTuber. Yeah, that's a troll. Well, I'm sure the Trump reaction is somewhere up here.
And, you know, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do, you know, complex things, whether it's battery manufacturing or computer manufacturing or building ships. So we're going to look at that whole situation. We have a lot of industries that we don't have anymore, and we're going to have to train people. And the way you train people is bring people in that know what they're doing and let them stay for a little while and help. So I'm going to look at that. It's a very interesting situation.
He's very good. He's a liberal partisan hack. Legal Eagle. He's like a Philip DeFranco. Thoughts on having more gaming bars? What do you mean? Where video games at like in a social space? Gaming bars. I never really knew those were on the rise. If that's what you're talking about, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Dave and Buster's, essentially. Maybe it could be good for social, for people in terms of their social life if they have more of those. Didn't know you guys hated Legal Eagle. Oh my goodness, the guy is like fucking far left wing. No, I love him. He's great. And those are the worst ones too, the pretentious douchebags who try and claim they're independent, like Philip DeFranco. Yeah, those are the worst type. Swear if OU had a defense worth of shit, we would have been back-to-back national champions. Yeah, no, I hear you. That you had really good offenses and terrible defenses. But that was like, that's Lincoln Riley's signature. You know, you get a good with a bad. If you got an offensive coach like that, you're probably going to have a bad defense. Trump reaction. I mean, this is like, I do think there might be a bunch of bots in this this chat. I mean, because it's like, how many people are going to tell me to go to this? And they're saying the exact same thing. He doesn't seem too happy. Well, I mean, you caught him on one frame there. Turn on your TVs and watch Mark Levin right now. Yeah, Boomer Hall of Fame. Boomer Hall of Fame. Christie. Christie. Remember when Chris Christie was like signing something? I don't know. Let's see if we can find that Chris Christie thing. Chris Christie fat is the first thing. Well, this is an old image. Oh, man.
So I want to know, you think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the best man to be leading public health? No. Answer the question.
It's not my decision.
No.
It's
You're
the
supporting the
president's
decision. You're
No,
supporting the
I
decision.
support his decision.
You just called him a humble, qualified man.
was.
So you think he's the best person to lead public health
I
in this
think he's
country?
the best
He is a
person.
joke.
And
So I want to know.
Public health. This Browns loss was rough. Yeah, I mean, I knew the Browns weren't going to be very good this year, so it doesn't surprise me. Their kicker is just terrible. It's typical. But where's that one video of Christie signing autographs?
Oh, short 2028! Christie right here.
Christie 28. Christie 28. Christie. This goes viral with 3,500 comments. Yeah, you just know it's going to be. Remember Trump talked about like Christie at a buffet? Remember Ted Cruz? Wait, what did Ted Cruz say about Pritzker? Oh, dude. Ever play any of these games? Civilization 4, Hearts of Iron 4, Company of Heroes 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Anno 1800, Hell Drivers 2. The only one I've played is Hearts of Iron. Christie. Didn't he claim? He claimed that Chicago was built by slaves. Oh. But this is the fake historical justification for whatever the fuck they're doing to Chicago now. They have to lie about history to justify, just like they lay the bed of saying the country was built by slaves, which is completely inaccurate, as justification for this massive minority crime, this massive black crime, that we should just accept it. What is this, the evolution? Yeah, I think the 2013-2014 scoreboard was the best for CBS. I'm not going to get into this, but I think the 2013-2014 one was the best. Dumb question. You remember reading that when the North Tower collapsed, there was an effect on the transmitting feed from TV radio locally due to the loss of the antenna? Yeah, no, I have heard that as well. Another interesting thing about the North Tower is there was some type of like still, I don't even think you call it a webcam. You know, this was back in 2001, but like it took a picture every 15 minutes or something. And so when the North Tower got hit, because it took a picture, and then the picture after the North Tower got hit, the camera that was capturing the still images, it was like moved because the building moved from the plane impacting it, and then obviously it collapsed, so the picture stopped. But that is true. You like the score bugs with the logos, except whatever the hell Fox has. Yeah, the problem with Fox is it's transparent, it's like see-through. So it's not good for people's eyes when you have something like that. People don't like that. There's a way they normally have like a distinct border around these scoreboards. And the reason is because like the transparent background, it's distracting for people. They can't really see. So I think they might have to change that on Fox, honestly. I don't think people like that. Thoughts on banning trans people from gun ownership, as Trump admin is discussing? Yeah, I'd have to see the numbers on the situations. I have seen there's been new numbers that have been released based on some of these recent shootings, and they say it's significantly disproportionate. I mean, I think they're trying to, that gun problem is such an unsolvable thing because, you put on stricter background checks, things like that. I think for the right, they're just trying to maybe placate to the base with something like that. I don't know. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but you think the 2025 board is definitely the best organized while the others add... Well, in terms of this comparison, this is the best one. You can just tell based off the font. This font is a bit clunky. This just looks... That's a horrible font. They upgraded the font a little bit. And yeah, this one is superior. The other thing I think that's ridiculous now is they have the records. I don't think the records are necessary. I think the records just clutter the board, and it's not necessary to have the team record. We don't need to see that the team is 5-5. If the team is 5-5, they're 5-5. I don't need to see it 24/7 on the scoreboard that they're 5-5. I think it's a dumb thing. But I think they go back to the 2013, 2014 one. I'd be happy. That was the best graphics package they had. But this newer one, compared to these other ones, I guess is better. No, but the records clutter the board. I mean, a team is 2-0. It's like, do we have to... Did you see Panthers Bryce? Bryce Young did not play well, from what I saw. Like, how do you counter signal this disgusting killing? It's almost like they wanna just demoralize people when they make these statements. These liberal mayors have made so many statements after these terrible events. You're not surprised. Do you think Massey will get 2 more Republicans to get his discharge position passed? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. What are they even going to release? You think the administration is going to really release it? I mean, come on. Yeah, they'll release stuff. They've already released 10 times more than whatever the Biden administration released on Epstein. They unsealed a bunch of shit. They won 27-20. Yeah, because UConn's a terrible team. Yeah, UConn's a really bad team. That was a bad performance by Syracuse. They are indeed taking a break for cake. But this was 4 days ago. I thought it was during the press conference. Yeah, these kids got stuck in this hole. I remember seeing this a while ago. Look at this. You dig a hole that deep. If you dig deep enough, it's water. Really close to the sand. It's like quicksand, I guess.
Ready.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know what the PD was saying with the.
Is this him?
Yeah, you tell it! Woo! Oh, shit! She took it from the little kid, bro. Oh, shit! Get it, kid! Yeah! Woo! The glasses are up! Karen is ready!
Oh my, dude, this is the villain.
Put your glasses on.
I guess she's a Phillies fan. Yeah, but that's not really how it works. When there's a scramble for it, you don't get to just... I mean, this woman, she's getting dragged. Should have stood his ground. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I guess they say it's de-escalation. The kid got a bunch of stuff. When it's a scramble for it, you're not entitled to it. And I guess she didn't know that. Dude acted like a beta, but if you watch his interviews, you cut him some slack. He was de-escalated. Yeah, I mean, I understand de-escalating it. Because that woman seemed like she wasn't letting it go. But... it was the kid's birth. Was it seriously the kid's birthday as well? Oh, man. You actually remember getting... I remember the first... I've only caught one foul ball, I think. I came close to catching it. I used to go to a lot of Indians games when I was younger. Not anymore. But, I got one. It was, like, right in front of me, and I pounced on it. It was, like, an empty seat in front of me. I was able to get it. But I sat in the lower bowl a lot. I had pretty good seats. Then they put all these fucking nets up. That's what they... Another thing that they did. They used to have very little netting with MLB games. And they have the netting up now to where it's over top as well behind home plate. Like it's over your nets. The net is above you. And obviously they have the screen right behind. They've always had that. But then they've extended the netting really far down the lines. She lost her job. I don't think that was true. I think that was something that somebody just said, but it was false. Is South Florida the best team in Group F? I mean, right now, I would say based off of what they've done the first 2 weeks, they would probably be the best team. But they have to maintain it. We'll see. Watch the video at 0.25x speed. Her arm was yanked. Let me see this. No, I don't think so. I think she didn't have control of it, and she reached down and he grabbed it, and then she tried to get it. It didn't seem like her arm was yanked from... And you can't even tell, honestly. No, the way he's grabbing it, he's just grabbing the ball. He's not... There's nobody yanking her arm. What's the first thing you do in GTA 6? I mean, I'm not a big GTA 6 fanatic, so it's not like I'd be able to give you an exotic answer on that. But I'd probably get I think everyone will get GTA 6. I mean, GTA 6 will probably be out for like fucking 2 decades before they make GTA 7 with the wait from GTA 5. So, I've gotten GTA 5 twice and I don't have the game. That's just how long it's been out, because I had gotten GTA 5 disc version on the original Xbox One, I think. And then I got the digital version, but now I don't even have it because something happened to where I got like a new Xbox and I lost my previous games or something. But it just goes to show you. Follow-up question, thoughts on Hearts of Iron 4? I like invasion games, and I like territorial conquest, so it's fun to play. You've got to play with the mods, though. The video where the guy got the ball and was celebrating and he gave it to the little girl. Yeah, I've seen that video. What do you think about the Keck meme coin? The one on Ethereum you're talking about? Dude, there are sick edits for the Hearts of Iron 4. Have you seen the Trump one? Well, I mean, maybe there's a lot of Trump ones, but there's a main Trump edit that's just, it's probably, Trump should honestly post it. It's such a badass edit. Did you see Trump boomer meme about Pritzker, the sumo wrestler? So you mean Civilization 5? Yeah, I've heard of those games. Ukraine clip?
Mr. Thilly, I started your time.
Okay. Suppose you have a 4-year-old younger sister. Would you trust Trump alone to babysit her? Yeah, Trump is not. Trump is he's not that type of person that would be an issue. No, Trump's actually a really, you can tell he's a good person. Just be off camera and everything that Trump says, you can tell. Like, it is hilarious. Why did Rosie O'Donnell go to Ireland? Out of all places. I saw Conor McGregor announced he's running for the president there. I don't think he's going to win. I mean, I don't know, but chances of Illinois or Indiana making the play, I think it's a very low chance. Illinois has an easy schedule, so they've got a higher chance than Indiana. Dude, that's a good edit though, man. That's a good edit. No, I don't think it's about him, and it's more of just a badass edit. I guess people would be angry, but Trump shit posts the entire time anyways. He just shit posts constantly. Dude, he literally just randomly posts a bunch of slop the other day. He must, Trump, he's probably just like, oh, this is so good. I have to. Oh, here's another one. I didn't see this one. Bro, come on. Bro. Slop. Slop. Dude, he thought this was so good. He literally reposted on Twitter. He's like, is it in my Truth Social contract? Can I post this on Twitter? I mean, dude, come on with this.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat.
Why does he look bald?
One of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around.
Anyone who stands up to the president, anyone who criticizes the president, anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government. Anyone who's...
Dude, they should ask Shift about this. Did you see the president post you with the long neck? What is your reaction to that? Oh, man. It's like Trump just found these. He's like, I love these so much. They have to be posted on X. I have to post them on Twitter. The boomer final bus. This is the ultimate posting. Yeah, this is why he would tweet out something like that video. Someone sends Trump that video, the Hearts of Iron. Trump's posting that immediately. Trump saw a clip of him. I talked about this before, but it's just so funny. Where it shows you, the AI shows you aging. So it takes basically a photo of you when you were a baby, and then it compiles it. Liberal scum, the downfall of Western civilization. Well, this modern liberal globalism is definitely destroyed the country. It's made it very, very challenging. It's destroyed all the big cities. It's undeniable. And we got another situation with the sad situation with the Ukrainian refugee. But Trump is just like, somebody made this AI video of me, and I was just like, wait, who made that? Oh, it's AI. I was like, that's interesting. Bigger influence on America and why? Civil War, World War II. I think World War II had a bigger influence on Western civilization than the Civil War. The Civil War, I mean, it was already being phased out. Slavery was already being phased out. World War II had a bigger impact on Western civilization in general, which, as a byproduct, affected the United States more. Thoughts on the tariffs ruling going to the Supreme Court? I think it's, from what I heard, it was going to get struck down, whatever they were trying to pass, that said it was going to be illegal. It was a judge ruling or something that said it's illegal. Trump can't do this amount of tariffs. It's not constitutional. I think it should get shot down. But I mean, like, the thing is with the tariffs are already in place.
Ben Johnson tipped $10 through Super Chat. Like the stream, trick the algorithm, $3 for DG.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my goodness, dude. I have like freaking AI agents. That's all it's just like, go to breaking 911, go to Colin Rugg.
Chicago is a very dangerous place, and we have a governor that doesn't care about crime. I guess we could solve Chicago very quickly, but we're going to make a decision as to where we go over the next day or two. When you look at what happened to D.C. in a short period of time, Honestly, it's amazing.
Dude, that's the exact same thing I thought about that video. The most infuriating part, well, that's when it becomes real. Him walking out of the subway car with her blood dripping from like his clothes. That is just that's because that's what makes the video real. And that's a lot of blood too. Dream 2028 matchup, including VPs in terms of best chance of winning versus best chance of winning. Best chance of winning, it's probably Vance Tulsi is what I would say right now for Republicans. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with Tulsi and everything like that. Maybe I could think of a better VP. I mean, I think Vance DeSantis would be good, but it might be repetitive. Vance Rubio, I don't know. I think that's really repetitive, but I can understand people, people like Rubio right now. But there are a lot of people that have trepidation with Rubio. But I don't know if it would make a big difference. And then the Democrats, I think for them, it probably... Man... Probably an outsider, but I couldn't go with Cuban. I couldn't go with Stewart or anyone like that, because it's just like... I mean, from the top choices for the Democrats, I really don't know. I mean, Newsom is the #1 choice. I don't think he'd be good. Buttigieg, I don't think would be good. Whitmer, I think they're going to do a guy in 28, a male. I guess Newsom, but it would have to be with Whitmer or someone like that. For them, they would need... But I think Newsom is a weak candidate for the electoral setup. Dems, Newsom, Whitmer. Yeah, but again, I don't think Whitmer is able to compensate for the Rust Belt problems. I mean, Vance against Newsom is a brutal Rust Belt matchup for liberals, even if you have Whitmer, who's liked in Michigan, I guess. How's the weather? The weather's been cool. It's actually going to be warming up again. I'm not too happy about it. Is a strong conservative, Buttigieg is the only Dem you consider voting for? Really? Buttigieg and his husband? Yeah, no, I don't think Buttigieg is going to do much. And I mean, I guess Buttigieg, in terms of the Democratic Party, would be more moderate left. But Buttigieg is not going to make it out of the primary for the Democrats. Black people won't vote for him. Whitmer is better than AOC. Many Dems don't realize, which concerns... Well, I mean, isn't that just a byproduct of whatever... AOC is obnoxious. She's going to have a bigger fan base. She's going to have more supporters. She's got a lot of younger supporters. She's better on social media. What do you think about the undersea cable cut in the Red Sea cutting off internet connection to India? Dude, what do you think about them making people on X, you have to put next to your name, it's a flag of where you're from? 1915 Armenian genocide, 1.5 million killed, never forget. Thank you for the $2 donation.
Kitchline tip $19.99 through Super Chat. Good stream, TN.
Thank you. I appreciate the donation.
Now, you've been running on the platform of affordability fixes for New Yorkers, like a rent freeze you mentioned, free buses, city-owned groceries that made you popular with some working New Yorkers, but not so popular with real estate developers and the financial class. You were the only mayoral candidate to march alongside Martin Luther King III and I on our march on Wall Street about DEI on last week as we call for economic justice for all New Yorkers and all Americans. But right now, the top 1% earners in the city pay 40% of the city's income taxes, according to the Empire Center for Public Policy. How do you bring these wealthy residents to the table as mayor? Stop them from saying they're leaving, going to Florida, because we need that tax revenue to pay for some of the things you're talking about. How do you pay for it if they're gone?
Well, the first thing I have to say is I was proud to be the only candidate for mayor at that march. And I was proud because some of the chants at that march, they were asking, is the dream alive?
Right.
Is Dr. King's dream still alive? And he asked the question decades ago, what good is having the right to sit at a lunch counter if you can't afford to buy a hamburger?
Right.
That's a question that New Yorkers are still wrestling with today in 2025. And so what I have put forward is a vision to make the most expensive city in the United States of America affordable. At a time when we have the wealthiest city, it is also one where 1 in 4 are living in poverty. And to your point, we have a number of New Yorkers who are doing quite well. The top 1% of New York City earns $1 million or more a year. And my vision is not one where they leave, it is one where they stay. It is
How do you get them to stay?
In part by showing them that asking them to pay more in taxes would increase even their quality of life. Because when you ask New Yorkers,
that's not going to work.
What is it that is making them feel uneasy in this city? You often.
I'm surprised he wouldn't use the argument of, oh, they need Wall Street and New York City to, you know, to make money. An increase in quality of life for high taxes does not make people stay. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure how much he'd be able to implement it anyways. A lot, being a mayor is, I'm not sure how much power he'd have to be able to implement serious economic change. It might just be like a watered down version and it ends up as kind of just like meh policy. And then they just blame people for not being like corporations, or because there's a lot of people that are going to be against this. It's not even like a left versus right issue. You know, a lot of the tax revenue comes from the really wealthy people. I mean, it seems like they have all the leverage. To be honest, despite me not supporting any of Mondani's policies, can't deny he's pretty charismatic and genuine. Yeah, I would say he's got political talent. But I mean, a lot of people have political talent. Question is, you know, do you support them? Do you support what they're talking about and what they believe? Are the Steelers going to be a dangerous team this year with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers did look very good. Aaron Rodgers, the thing is you can have a lot of good, good stats and yards and stuff, but he was very accurate with the ball in the times that I watched him today. So yeah, maybe the Steelers will be good. That was a surprising high scoring game against the Jets. Yeah, but they characterize, this is the same thing they did with Medicaid as well. They said they're taking Medicaid away from everyone. They're taking vaccines away from everyone. And so it's this tagline that they all repeat. Same people who call Trump a dictator parade Mondani, who's pledging to way overstep authority as well. I mean, when they do it, it's different with an uppercase D. Epic argument incoming in Pennsylvania, and every liquor store is owned by the state. Why can't Mondani put a few state grocery stores in shitty neighborhoods? Well, I mean, I think they're trying to have state-run grocery stores, but the reason there's the state-run grocery stores, or grocery stores in general, there's a lot of crime in those areas. It's why they create food deserts, because of the crime. I mean, it's just general capitalism. If you have a store and it's in an area where it keeps getting robbed, you're going to move away. And then they say it's a racist food desert. Will Melania divorce? Melania is not going to divorce Trump. No. Melania has been in public a lot more now recently. I've seen her a lot. she was at some AI thing I saw, and she was at that dinner with all those. She like told Trump when Trump's hearing is shot, dude. Trump is always asking, wait, what'd you say? Would you? And she had to tell Trump. I don't know if anyone saw that clip. Thoughts on weather delays? There was a lot of weather delays in college. There's been way more weather delays. I think they changed whatever their barometer is for delaying games. I don't even think, because it used to be you had to see a lightning strike. Now I think they say, well, if it's lightning is in the vicinity, there might not even be a strike. They delay the game. So we're dealing with like a rampant amount of weather delays these weeks, these early weeks in the season. Thoughts on Pete Hegseth? I haven't seen much of what Pete Hegseth. I know he was talking a little bit about the Venezuelan strike. Oh yeah, they changed the I'm not sure if they officially did it or what. They changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War, which I view it more as a practical thing because it does. I mean, I like the name Department of Defense. I think it's a formal name and it makes us sound like we have authority. But I mean, the war name is more accurate in terms of what the department does. But remember DMAGA? Dude, DMAGA it's disturbing what happened to DMAGA. Dude, I should have freaking logged on to my goddamn fucking Phantom and just sold out completely at like midnight on election night. That would have been the best decision for me with 100%. I should have just been like, I'm selling, because it's a sell the news, right? Department of Defense gives us plausible deniability. I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why. I mean, that's ridiculous. The name of it is Department of Defense. So because we're doing this offensive military action, but we're called the Department of Defense, it's like, I don't think that's why. But I just like the name Department of Defense for some reason. It sounds better. Drop the. Did you notice CBS new scoreboard? Yeah, it's interesting. These. I might have to make a video on it. I don't know if people care anymore, but I'm surprised CBS changed their scoreboard. They normally wait 3 years, but now they changed it. I think they're starting to get some serious hate, and they had a previously great graphics package in like 2014, and they've changed it, and so they're trying to like reinvent it. I don't know what they're doing. People like it, I think, but it's not as good as like 2013, 2014. Did you cover the stabbing of the Ukrainian girl in the States by the black? Yeah, I covered it. I did a video on it, but I also talked about it tonight. That was like the big story that I saw over the weekend. But you'll never know it with the national media. They've gone, oh, we're so surprised. They've gone quiet on it. Yeah. Rapid. I mean, Rapid is just going to be, a bunch of administration stuff.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would
I don't
the
go to
Department
war.
of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
You saw a post earlier. New York Times had 100 plus articles mentioning Daniel Penny, who stopped the violent man in the New York subway, but not one story. Yeah, I know. It's. Of course, they're not going to cover it. They're gonna stay far away from the killing of the the black dude killing the white Ukrainian refugee. We're shocked they're not covering that. New CBS NFL scoreboard don't have abbreviations. I don't think you really need them. I do like the abbreviations, but depends on the font that's used. She escaped the war just to get unalived by cultural and yeah, isn't it insane that that's the story? That's a refugee who and so she's escaping. She's escaping being put in harm's way, and that's what happens. I mean, even just the video of that where they're just sitting together. There's just something really just like next level disturbing in seeing a video like that, but
I think we're going to have a deal on Gaza very soon. It's a hell of a problem.
What gives you
Again,
that
it's a problem we want to solve for the Middle East, for Israel, for everybody. But it's a problem we're going to get done. So they have hostages. It could be a little bit less than 20 because some, they tend to die, right? They tend to die. Even though they're young people largely, they're dying. Young people don't die. Young people stay alive. But with this whole thing, they tend to die. But we have, let's say, 20 people, and we have about 38 bodies. Bodies, meaning bodies.
Are you confident you can get them all released?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to get them all. I think we're going to have a deal on Gaza.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin next? And what
Very
might second
soon. Over the next couple of days. Look, we're going to get it done. The Russia-Ukraine situation, we're going to get it done. I have confidence we're going to get it done. Think of it. I got 7 done, all of which were impossible to do. If you look at any one of the 7, you know them. I don't have to go through them. Many of them were impossible. One was 31 years, 10 million people killed. One was 34 years with 8 million people killed. How about the Congo? They lost 9 million people. And it went on for years with Rwanda. All settled. Everybody happy. The one that I thought would have been, for me, the easiest, because of Putin, I thought that would have been, it's not turned out that way, but we're going to get it settled.
When do you plan to speak to President?
well, it's very vague.
You have essentially a crime-free zone. I mean, here we are on a nice Sunday evening. If you'd like, it feels like Saturday, actually. If you like, you could go out and you could have dinner on me, but you wouldn't do that. But you could have dinner on me if you'd like.
Boy, Trump seems upbeat, pretty upbeat in this interview. He should just walk away from Ukraine and let it. Well, I mean, it seems like it might be trending that way. I don't know. I think he's trying to fund Ukraine to pressure Russia, but will that even work? There's the next step of the problem. I saw a Ben Shapiro clip that was surprising. I don't know what he was talking about. Ben Shapiro goes on all these shows now to promote his book and whatever, and he was talking about India trying to defend it, being like, well, what Trump is doing is not smart, and I don't know, but it's like it's obvious what Trump is doing. It's because of the amount of oil that they've imported since the sanctions came on to Russia. They just buy up all of the cheap Russian oil. That's why Trump is angry at India. There's no way any heavy sanctions on Russia are going to work because the amount of oil that just gets funneled to India now. And then they resell it themselves for a markup. Trump screwing up, letting BRICS all unite. Yeah, I don't really buy that. I think that's kind of just. I don't see that really. Because I mean, the Eastern countries you can understand just from a NATO perspective and how big NATO is as a defense treaty or a defense pact. There's going to be some type of relationship. If anything, Trump would be able to break that up with having a better relationship with Russia versus the liberal thought of don't even talk to them. So I don't know where this whole thing comes from. It's like Trump, if he ends this, we could have a better relationship with Russia, and that might break up a relationship that they previously would have with China Like, you think liberals are going to break up Russia and China getting closer? It would be the opposite. There's been heavy animosity against Russia by the Democrats. Trump is a lot more controlled this term, less wild comments. I like it. Yeah, I mean, he'll have his moments. I mean, I think, you know, as a politician, you grow, and he's more experienced now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show those. I don't know where those clips are. I'd have to go back, see far. Well, ESPN tweets it out. Oh, that's going to get a lot of people. It's going to get a lot of people that don't like him in the comments. Thoughts on Lego minifigures? They're arguably worse than modulars. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, people get angry about minifigures. You see the Lego, you see the Death Star. This has been going around everywhere. I've seen a lot of videos on this. Look at this thing. They say it's a disc. Now the thing is gigantic, but it's a disc. It's not a sphere. It's not a circle. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to display something like that. People think it's like, it doesn't look complete to me. People are pissed off. They don't, I mean, yeah, it's way bigger than this. I owned this set. I used to have it. This is massive in comparison, but this is a full circle. This is a 3D circle. This is a 2D, like, fucking disc. Clyde would break it. He might knock it over. I don't know. It's probably pretty sturdy. Let me guess, $2,000, $1,000. It's I think $999 or something. You prefer your formal hometown vibe, but with national awareness. Hope this lasts. What are you talking about? He might knock it over if I had this. You'd have to put it up somewhere. People love the minifigures. The minifigures are very expensive, some of these. Buy two to make it whole, but it's not even, it's a slice. It's not even a hemisphere. Dude, I remember this set was like the craziest thing ever. It was like $400. People were like, oh my goodness, this is like the craziest set. It did have a lot of different rooms. Yeah. The room tour was awesome. Reminded me of old vlog videos. Yeah, that was kind of like that. I just wanted to do a one-off thing. Maybe I'll do a drive. Star Wars went woke with the sequels. Well, it's just money grabs, I think. I don't I mean, what are the sequels for other than just money grabs on Star Wars fanatics? I mean, look at these Avatar movies. You know, James Cameron now is doing 3 Avatar movies in 6 years. I saw another Avatar trailer when I went to the movies. Dude, like, come on. This is just, I don't get the point of this. I mean, you're going to produce 3 movies over 6 years. This just seems like you're pumping them out as a money thing. Come on. You had to sit with your kid and watch the Zombies movie. It was literally Antifa psyop for kids. What do you mean Antifa psyop for kids? I never heard of a Zombies movie for kids. What is that? Why didn't you show your bathroom? Bathroom tour. I mean, come on. The Avatar movies are going to be 2.5 hours long. Can barely sit through an hour. Avatar was like the God movie. It was the highest grossing movie out of anything. But yeah, I just, it's a weird thing. I mean, it's a cool concept, so I'll give it that. But you know what was a cool concept? Elysium. I don't know if people, wasn't that with Matt Damon? Remember that movie? I don't know. There was a movie with The Rock where he plays someone like he's out of character, plays a UFC fighter. Get blackout curtains. I mean, I have a really strong curtain. It just doesn't matter. It's not going to matter, man. The sun is very strong. I mean, I'd have to get like an insulated thing. And also the way the house is now, it's, it needs to be re-insulated, I think, for the roof does. For it to fully, because, heat rises and the upstairs is very hot in the summer. Saw a lot of, Juan, what's up? Saw a lot of protests by the naval base this weekend. You live about 15 minutes from there and things are about to get crazy. Just saw your room tour. So simplistic. I know, dude. I'm going to get a better situation soon. When's your girlfriend reveal? Tomorrow. Zuckerberg. Yeah, I saw Zuckerberg answer the question with Trump. I don't know. Trump is obsessed with those tech people. Yeah, that's a brutal back. That's against the wall, though, they say. You put that against the wall.
I wasn't very happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win. She was gonna get it anyways.
Sure. Yeah. She wasn't gonna take it, but I decided to give her the ball. I apologize to you, but it was the right thing. We just wanted her to go away.
Yeah.
And it worked out. You got a bat.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Dad, do you have any regrets giving the ball back?
This is awkward.
Yeah, like I said, it's, that was what we were there for. We were there to get a home run ball. So I thought I had accomplished this great thing, and putting in his glove meant a lot. And she was just so adamant and loud and yelling and persistent, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. There was hundreds of people, just staring. And like I said, she was very, very, very close. And I'm dad of the family, so I didn't want to do something I'd regret. And that was the choice I made, is to just hand the ball back and tell her, go away.
Dude, I don't know about that. I mean, there was a way to answer that and be like, I didn't want to It seemed like a very disheveled answer. Seemed like a disheveled answer there. I don't know. Looks like Hunter Biden, maybe a little bit. Yeah, that was not an answer I would give. You know, you have that situation like that, be like, I wanted to de-escalate it, not in front of my kid. The woman, I mean, but it's in a tough spot. It's a tough look if you're a father, you know, on national TV. Hand the ball back, he snatched it from her hand, probably. I don't think so, man. I think it's just a Karen who thought she was entitled to a ball because it landed near her. That seems what it is. I understand people going against this guy now. I don't know. If you watch the video, I think it was just she probably didn't realize that when a ball lands in the stands, you're not entitled to it, lady. You have to pick it up. Just because it's in your area doesn't mean it's yours. She's probably been to like one game, you know. But guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. Talk about the woman who got stabbed in the train. I've already talked about that. I did a video on it. Yeah, that's what happened. The ball fell closer to her. Yeah, if you have do anything, but that lady was really out of line for going up to that dude, and you know.
Ben Johnson tipped $10 through Super Chat. Latar, THX for being objective.
Thank you, I appreciate that. That's a nice donation, man. But I will see you guys later.